today's show is all about that extra time, and we're rolling out never before seen bonus footage and segments. You might say this episode is a little bit extra. So first up, when we talked to the wonderful, talented, beautiful Anne Hathaway, we confessed that we totally have huge crushes on each other, and we had a big love fest. But there are some things that you didn't get to see, so take a look. I fell into romantic comedies, and I realized that that was a genre that I was really happy being in. And
an excellent.
Oh, thank you. Well,
crazy dream girl, excellent in.
Oh, thank you. I just loved putting positive things out into the world, but I was always cognizant, and I'm not a calculated person. I am very heart first. I didn't think about money. I didn't think about career. I didn't have that ambition. But what I think is so interesting is you can get sort of pigeonholed in Hollywood of like, oh, you're this genre. And the thing that I love about you or anybody, and I talk about it all the time, the range. You are in all these films that we love so much, that we love to cozy into, but then you're in like indies, like Rachel getting married. And then you're in Les Mis, winning an Oscar. But it's still Ella Enchanted, Devil Wears Prada, Bride Wars. You've managed to transcend, like, not being pigeonholed in any way. You can do modern love and sing and dance. You can be in The Witches with this extraordinary accent. And I feel like you've done such an amazing job at creating a ride that anyone will get on and believe the genre, tone, and story that you are telling without saying, I know what this is going to be. And that's not easy to do.
Thank you. I could be silent and just absorb that for a lot longer, but that wouldn't be very fun for your audience. So I'm just going to say thank you so much. I can't tell you what that means to me. I'll probably email you about it later. But I honestly, thank you. You're giving me way too much credit. I think when you look at all of those films, you have to look at the directors who just kind of, because you know how it is, we do our best, we give the raw material to them, but then it takes on a whole nother life, and the director is the one that guides it and edits it, and then, you know, kind of guides the music that goes on top of it. And so when I think of those performances, I think that's the reason why I maybe, if I've to this point managed to avoid being pigeonholed, it has to be because I've just had such incredible directors protecting me and making sure that it felt different.
I think that's an excellent point. I love directors, and they do really mold, and they set the tone. Like
you're a wonderful director.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You're a wonderful director. Is that something that you love? Are we going to see more of that? I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I hope so.
No, I had my kids, and you know, the directing job, and I'm so psycho about everything I do that I had to stop for a while. I wanted to, like, you know, just raise my kids for a while. And then I went back to work in this show called Santa Clarita Diet, and it was like such a blessing because it, you know,
coming on the show.
What?
I mean, you're just like candy. I can just watch you forever. You're just like what you were saying about wanting to put happiness out there. That is exactly it. When I'm just scrolling through channels and I come on and I see your face, I'm just so happy. It gives me the best feeling. And I always stop because I got to see what you're up to in the scene. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. And so anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're great in Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm amazed and thrilled that you know what it is. I
watch television. Yes, I know. I'm amazed by myself too.
But it reminded me that I had a skill set because I had totally lost it. Like I had become so kid oriented that I kind of forgot who I was. And it was nice to be reminded that because also if you psycho stare your kid in the face, they're going to end up in therapy. So it was like,
anyway, Drew, come on. We got to just don't worry about that.
You're so
right. Inevitable.
You're so right. What do you think you're going to send your kids into therapy over?
I actively avoid thinking about it. So hopefully we're not there yet. But to your point about like the way you kind of give over to motherhood and then you remember who you are. I feel like I'm going through something similar like that right now. And it's a funny thing. And I hope we get there as a culture that because I feel like we talk about these things as though they're specific line breaks, as opposed to another thing, which is like this accumulation of life experience and wisdom, and everything builds on each other. And there's like a layering involved to it. And I just think that, I don't know. I just hope we get to that point where, because I think that, I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's because there's this history, of looking at ourselves in these specific ways.
Yep.
And we're just getting to a point where we're more relaxed and accepting that we're all sorts of different things. And whether or not you have kids is that's not actually relevant to this conversation, but that way of seeing each other as whole beings who do many, many different things.
I completely agree. And I talk about how there are so many facets of a person within a day of a life, let alone an entire life. We have chapters in our books. So I'm really, really glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. And I think this show is what I was so excited about when I found out that you were doing this show, in addition to just being excited, because as I said, I do have a big crush on you, was this because you're such a curious person and you've always led with that. Like, and having been a fan for a really long time, that's one of the main adjectives that I think of when I think of you, is you're just so curious. And what a cool thing to now have an entire team working alongside of you to explore that curiosity and then kind of, I don't know, bring what you find to the rest of us.
Anne also recently revealed that she prefers to be called Annie. So thank you, Annie.